Let's look at a couple of application problems. We'll look at this one. The bank loans a total of $7,300 to two businesses. The bank charges the first business 5% annual interest, the second business 8% annual interest. At the end of the year, the business pay the bank $440 in interest. How much is the bank loan to each business? Okay, so we're going to let x equals the amount at 5% interest and y equals the amount at 8% interest. So what we'll have, we'll first of all do the total amount of the total dollar amount of the loan. So we'll have x amount plus y amount equals $7,300. And then we'll do the interest portion of it. So the x amount was at 5% interest, so 0.05 times the x amount plus the y amount was at 8% interest, so 0.08 times y, and the total interest paid was $440. Now you can use substitution or elimination in this one, either one that you choose. I'm going to use substitution. I'm going to get y by itself in that first equation. So I can get y by itself in this equation by subtracting x. So I'm going to rewrite my equation to have y equals 7,300 minus x. Now what that allows me to do is, since y equals 7,300 minus x, wherever y is in my second equation, I can replace it. And I can replace it with the 7,300 minus x. So I'm going to rewrite my second equation, but instead of y this time, I'm going to replace that y with the 7,300 minus x. So I'll have that in parentheses because we're multiplying. Again, since y was equal to 7,300 minus x, wherever y is in that other equation, I can replace it with 7,300 minus x. And then we're just doing simple equation solving after that. So, you're going to have your 0.05x, use your distributive property to give you 584 minus 0.08x equals 440. And then your like terms, so the 0.05x minus the 0.08x gives you a negative 0.03x. Since they were on the same side, I can go ahead and combine those. And then we want to subtract 584 from both sides. To give us negative 144. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 0.03. So I'm dividing both sides by a negative number, so therefore I'll end up with positive 4,800. And that's x equals 4,800. So that tells me that since x was at 5% interest and $4,800 of the loan was at 5%. So that's one part of my answer. The other part of my answer is the y part, so I need to find y. And to find y, we're going to have y equals 7,300 minus x. We just found out that x is 4,800. So y equals 7,300 minus 4,800. And y equals 2,500. And the 2,500 will be at the 8% rate because that's what we let y represent. And that makes sense. If we had a total of 7,300 and part of it, 4,800, was at the 5%, then the rest of it has to be at the 8% rate, which is the 2,500. So that's how you work through that type of problem. And again, you could have used substitution or elimination. I found substitution to be easier because I could easily get one of my variables by itself. Okay. I'm going to help you get this one set up and see about working through it. Okay, suppose the cost of 3 tennis balls and 2 golf balls is $12. The cost of the same 6 tennis balls and 3 golf balls is $21. Find the cost of 1 tennis ball and 1 golf ball. Well, let's let X represent tennis. And let's let Y represent the golf, the cost of the golf balls. Alright, so we have 3, from the first given information, 3 tennis balls, and we bought 2 golf balls, and the total equal $12. And then in the second equation, we bought 6 tennis balls, and then we bought 3 golf balls, and the total of those equal $21. Okay, so to me, this one will be easier to use elimination. And again, you can use multiplication to manipulate your equations. I see that the 3x and the 6x here, I can easily make those into positive 6 and negative 6. I already have a positive 6 here. I can multiply this equation by negative 2 because negative 2x will give me a negative 6x. And that's what I want. I want the same number but opposite signs. So the first common multiple for 3 and 6 is 6, and I can make this 3 into a negative 6 by multiplying by negative 2. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this first equation. We're going to multiply everything in there by negative 2. That's going to give me negative 6x minus 4y equals negative 24. And then we're going to leave the second equation like it is. And then we're going to use elimination. So we're going to add our 2 equations together. So the negative 6x and the positive 6x will simply cancel each other out. That's what we want them to do, eliminate each other. So I have negative 4y and positive 3y gives me negative 1y, and negative 24 and plus 21 gives me a positive or a negative 3. Okay, I can't leave that as a negative y, so we need to divide both sides by negative 1. And that tells me that y equals 3, which represents the golf balls. So that tells me that my golf balls cost $3 a piece. I also need to find out how much my tennis balls cost. You're going to do the same thing that we did on the other ones to find your x or find your other variable. You're going to substitute into one of your original equations. So to find x in this case, I'm going to use my 3x, my first original equation, plus 2y equals 12. Then I'm going to plug 3 in for y. So we get 3x, and there should be a plus in between there. 3x plus 6 equals 12. Subtract the 6 from both sides. Therefore, 3x equals 6. Divide both sides by 3. Therefore, x equals 2. So the cost of my tennis balls, which was x, they cost $2 a piece. Golf costs $3 a piece. All right, that's it for this week. I hope those examples help you out in your endeavors, and you have to think through some of these problems and get them set up correctly. Make sure you use all your resources available to you. Have a good week.